Welcome to the Wednesday Warrior Wrap-Up, where we take a look at some of the awesome news and reveals of this week. First up on the Wednesday Warrior Wrap-Up, we have an exciting bit of news to cover here. Back at Comic-Con, I had the opportunity to go to the Transformers panel, and they talked about the Activate Your Alt Mode event they were going to be doing, which is their first fan vote they've done in a long time. This is different than the Hall of Fame vote. The last time we had a fan vote was back during, I think, Combiner Wars and the Thrilling 30 with Windblade and Victorion. But we are getting another fan vote, and it started, I believe, yesterday with round one, where it was pick your Autobot character, and it was either Grimlock or Mirage as the two Autobots to choose from. Grimlock won, which was a little disappointing because I was hoping for Mirage. Because out of the four characters we're about to talk about, I feel like Mirage and the other character I'm about to talk about have the most need for an updated alt mode, because their old alt modes don't really, make as much sense in today's, environment of Transformers, because a Formula One race car, even back then, being on the random streets, they're not street legal, so that's not really a great alt mode disguise, but it worked and it was cool and I like it. But it would be fun to see a modern take on Mirage. But I do know we were getting a jet version in Cyber World, so people might be like, maybe it'd be better to wait. Today's fan vote, as of this recording, is between two Decepticons, and it is Shockwave and Starscream. And I thought it was kind of silly to put Starscream in these four characters, because he's already going to be getting a lot of variations in alt modes with the yearly 2-packs they're doing of Optimus with Starscream and Bumblebee with Megatron. We just had Heart of Steels, and next year they're all four going to be unique, never before seen alt modes that Evan's working on. So it kind of didn't make sense for Starscream to win, which is kind of the case right now. As of recording, Shockwave is beating out Starscream by a lot, which is perfect because Shockwave hasn't really had a great new alt mode in a while. He's had like a Spider Walker, he's had a submarine / battleship, and he's a character, once again, can't really do his old mode because it was a laser gun, and it makes more sense to kind of have him be something else. So it'd be fun to see him get a tank mode if he wins and they pick land, because the options are, first we pick our Autobot, then we pick our Decepticon, then we have to pick between the Autobot and the Decepticon, then we get to pick our alt mode. There's four choices. There's land, air, sea, and wild card. Now, land, air, and sea can be anything. It doesn't have to be like a car, a boat, and a jet. It could be a dragon, it could be a jet, it can be a bird, it could be anything for air, for example. And then for like land, it could be a tank, it could be a big rig, it could be a cheetah, it could be a giraffe. And then same with water, it could be a boat, it could be a whale, it could be anything. The wild card is really the interesting one, because that's where it's like, what exactly does this mean for the wild card? Could it be a transforming box? Could it be a vase? Could it be a arcade system? Stuff like that. I would think it would be cool if the wild card could end up being something like It's a Combiner, 5 small versions of the character combined to make the big version of that character, kind of like they did in Combiner Wars with the Galvatron Combiner. I know for me, if Grimlock beats out Shockwave, I prefer a Dragon Grimlock. I think it'd be cool if it was a Megalodon. I know that one of my family members talked about it with me, and they said that would be really cool. And I think a Grimlock Megalodon, if it got picked for ocean / sea, that would be really cool. And then if Shockwave wins, anything would be cool with Shockwave, which I feel like with how fast Shockwave blew up compared to how fast Grimlock blew up, I think Shockwave's going to win this, which makes the best sense. I feel like that character definitely deserves a new alt mode compared to Grimlock. It would have been cool if Starscream did win. Another thing that a family member suggested is the same one, a satellite. Since it's Starscream, he could be a war satellite, which is really cool. But yeah, we won't know anything else till later. I believe we're going to pick between the Decepticon, and then I don't know if it's the next day. It does the breakdown of what days each things are. But then on the 17th, after everything, September 17th, which is Transformers Day, because that was the first day the episode aired, they will announce what it is after we've made all of our voting that the fans pick. Another thing that is very interesting is someone asked Nate on Instagram what the price point was going to be for this, and in the years past we knew we were getting a deluxe for Windblade, that whatever character we got was going to be deluxe, so it would be at that time I think $17, and then when the Combiner one happened, we knew it was going to be a commander price point, which is about 100, 120 back then. They're not giving, someone asked what the price point would be, and Nate said it based on what gets voted will depend on the price. That's what I'm saying. The wild card could be something like it's Titan Battleship Shockwave or something like that. Like, they could have it be a Titan if they wanted to. They could have it be a commander. They could have it be a leader. It could be a core class. So it's very interesting. It could be Shockwave land as a mouse and he turns into a core class mouse character. So it's interesting that there's, you know, the sky is the limit with this fanbo. We could get something really big. We could get something really small. I have a feeling that they'll probably put the cap at leader price point. I don't think they're going to go to commander or Titan, but it would be cool to see it if it did. But it's just really exciting, and we haven't had this much excitement since Combiner Wars and Thrilling 30 with the other fan votes. I mean, the Hall of Fame thing is really fun when they do that, and that's kind of how we can tell if we're going to get a new version of a character. Usually the winner would sometimes get a figure like they did with Knockout and Skybite, so we're still hoping we'll get it. I think it was Lugnut who won from Animated. So yeah, but it's just really fun, and I will definitely cover more as time goes on between now and the 17th of September. And this is just going to be a real quick update. We talked about these last week with Big Bad Toy Store, but now everyone officially is selling them. It is that of the Transformers Missing Link Nemesis Prime and the Transformers Takara T-Spark Predaking, which is the combiner, which is not mainline. It is their own thing. It kind of falls, in my opinion, more in the 3-0 art style or the Flaming Toys art style, but it can transform and combine. I just wanted to let you know that they are available on Hasbro Pulse now for pre-order during the pre-order window, and then they're also available like before on BBTS and on Entertainment Earth, I believe, and anywhere else that you want to order your online toys. They are considered imports, so they are a bit more pricey. I think you're looking at $132 for Nemesis Prime and about $440 for the Predaking, like before we talked about. But if you want to pick them up, link is in the description down below. And over in HasLab G.I. Joe toy news, the C.A.T is finally funded. So if you backed it or you want to back it, now is your chance. You have till tomorrow, I believe, at 9 o'clock Pacific time, 9 p.m. Pacific time, midnight Eastern time or 11:59. Eastern time to pick it up. As of now, they are really close to Lady J. I have a feeling we're going to get the Lady J. It's the other two that I don't really know about at this point, but I feel like what's going to happen is there's going to be a major amount of pre-orders, and we'll probably unlock Tier 1, maybe even Tier 2. I don't know about Tier 3 at this point. I'm not, betting on it. I think, honestly, it's kind of a bummer if not all 3 tiers unlock, kind of like with the Giant Man. The difference was the Giant Man was like, 200? Like a Titan class? 100, 200 almost. So that was, that wasn't too much of a heartbreak. The figures and the accessories really are built into the price, I think. And so when these G.I. Joe HasLabs don't fully fund and fully tier unlock, it's like you're paying for stuff you're not getting, and it's kind of a bummer. But then again, that might have changed. I know back when the Robbie Reyes Engine of Vengeance HasLab was coming out, they said that the price was based on the figures that were included. And people went, that seems kind of unfair. Figures are supposed to be the unlocks that you get because they're rewards, not because they're part of the price. And that kind of puts us in a situation where we have to get our friends to back it who might not want to, and, become a person that goes out and be like, you should buy this so you can help me get my toys that I want. But honestly, it's in my opinion, this G.I. Joe vehicle, if you're a big fan of Arctic Adventures and G.I. Joe in general, it's really cool, even with just the C.A.T, and I think it's Frostbite, or I can't remember the pilot's name. And I mean, we already have so many snow-based G.I. Joes that it kind of works out, kind of like we're building up to desert with all the desert characters like Dusty and the Scorpion and the Steel Brigade thing. They're really pushing for that. So I'm assuming the next HasLab will be some kind of desert-based vehicle to kind of build onto that, because it's all about world building. But yes, if you want to back it, now's your chance. You have till the 14th at 11:59 Eastern time, 8:59 I think Pacific time to back this. And in Marvel Legends toy news, there's just some really fun reissues. I know we talked about how Walmart was getting a bunch of the Spider-Man retro carded figures like the Sandman, Rhino, Triple J, and Cyborg Spider-Man, which are part of their gondolas they're doing, their collector spot near the action figure section. I have yet to find any in my area. But this week they are doing a reissue for Ghost Rider and Doctor Doom. So if you missed them, they are back up. I believe Doctor Doom is now 30. I think it was 25 when it first came out. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, because I really want to know. I'll probably check a website later to figure that out, but he's $30 now. And yes, he comes with the 2 books that are, you know, MacGuffin books, like the Dark Horde and the Sorcerer Supreme book. I believe that's what they're called. And then yes, he comes with the Universe Destroyer and then, you know, extra accessories and stuff. So you could see it. I mean, honestly, he's almost a maximum series Doctor Doom with soft good cape and all. But yeah, I wasn't too bummed. I'm like, at least it was only 30 and not like, you know, they could have done more with all the, you know, popularity around Doctor Doom. But yeah, these are really cool. If you want them, they are available on Hasbro Pulse. Doctor Doom, I believe, sold out on Pulse, but he is available on BBTS and Entertainment Earth if you want to pick him up. And in NECA toy news, we have a lot of cool things to talk about with NECA. First, Wave 2 of the Tiny Toon, or the Toony Batman figures are coming out. These are like statue toonified figures. They do the horror ones a lot. They did Back to the Future. Well, they're finally doing Wave 2 of the Batman stuff, which for a while I didn't know if they were going to keep doing. And then also we got a look at some upcoming NECA Mirage comic turtle characters, which look really cool. Going to go up for pre-order on Turtle Tuesday later on next week. And then finally, the Universal Monsters 4-pack of single-carded, but you know, the 4 come together, went up on NECA. And I'm very excited for these. We saw them at Comic-Con. They're only $25 each. You buy all 4 for $100. I was surprised by that. These, yes, they do look a little silly. That's on purpose. They're meant to look like the old toys, but done in the newer Ultimates figures. Besides the Turtle Tuesday stuff, the other 2 are up for pre-order right now if you want to go pick them up. I'm very excited for all these items. I don't know what I'm going to pick up right now, but I'm just excited to see that, you know, these are all available or going to be. And in Super 7 toy news, we have a look at some pretty cool Super 7 offerings. There is a Gremlins carded figures of the final duel between Gizmo and I think is it Stripe or Mohawk? I can't remember his name. I feel bad. Reaction figures. These are really cool. And they're kind of to scale with your, you know, 6-inch figures in a way, maybe more like 7 inches. And then in more Batman news, there's a lot of Batman news this week, and a lot of Batmobiles. They are doing a Super Cyborg, I think it is, Batmobile, kind of like they did the classic Batmobile. They're doing the Tumbler. Looks really cool. You could take it apart and the layers and stuff like that. Some really awesome, you know, display features and stuff like that with it, where you could have it, you know, like a blueprint in a way. It's really cool looking. But yeah, that's what we got from Super 7. And in McFarlane toy news, we have a look at 3 offerings. First up, 2 that will be going up for pre-order later this week is Obsidian from the Gold Label, and then Mr. Bones from the Gold Label. I'm actually excited for both these characters. I don't know anything about them, but I might pick them up just because they look really cool. And then finally, like I said, a lot of Batmobiles this week. The Batman Batmobile from the most recent Batman movie is up for pre-order today. Link is in the description down below if you want to pick it up. It does not come with the figure. Figure sold separately. It is about $80 compared to the last Batmobile we talked about from Super Cyborg. That one's about $1 something, like $150. This one is a little bit more reasonable, but still is kind of pricey. But when you think about how much other vehicles cost in other toy lines, it's more of a deal. But yeah, lots of Batmobiles, and we have more to talk about. Like I said, more Batmobiles. This one is from Spin Master. It is the Batmobile from, I believe, one of the older movies. I can't remember which one. I think it's Batman Forever. I could be wrong. It says on the packaging in the image. But this one is really cool, and unlike the McFarlane one, they were able to put the guns on it, which I thought was pretty awesome that Spin Master was able to do that. They've been really knocking it out of the park with the smaller scale DC stuff when it comes to Superman, Batman. So I'm very excited to see this. Wanted to cover it real fast here, just also because there's just so many choices for Batmobiles this week, and I just thought it was funny. I wanted to talk about it here because it looked really cool, and the Batman figure is included, and it looks really nice. I believe it's going to be a lot cheaper too. I think it's only like 50 or 60, so this could be your Batmobile if you're looking for something at a lower price and a lower scale. And in LEGO toy news, we got a bit of a leak. I usually don't cover too many leaks, but this one is very interesting and very cool. We have a look at the LEGO Death Star set that will be coming out later this year or early next year. And this has actually got more pieces and parts. I think even more minifigures. There's quite a few. There's 2 Hans and 2 Lukes included in it, and then most of the rest of the cast. It is a bit pricey, but the crazy part is it's not a sphere like in the years past. It is a flat wall kind of design, so that you could play with it kind of like a play set. So it's more flat, it's not a sphere, which is very interesting, and I thought that was really cool, and that's what made me want to cover it, because I'm like, oh, you know, this is an interesting kind of idea of how to have a playset for the Death Star. A lot of people think 3D, but this is kind of like a 2D playset that is also 3D. And it kind of gives me some ideas for the vintage collection. If they ever wanted to do a HasLab Death Star, this kind of could be the way to do it. But everything is in this. The trash compactor, the control room that 3PO and R2 in, the cell block, the Death Star blast, the shooting area where the gunner is, the conference room, the hangar. There's even a little, was it a Tidarium shuttle? I can't remember the name of it. There's a little minifigure one that's kind of like big but small. And then just all kinds of minifigures. It's an amazing set. I wish I could get it, but I know it's going to be pricey. It's going to be probably like in the like almost thousands. Usually sets like this cost a bit. It could be cheaper. It could be like, you know, 500, 600, but think has. But I'm very excited for it. And for anyone who's excited for it, I think it's awesome looking. I cannot wait to see, you know, more images of it when it's officially announced and when it's out there in the public. This is, of course, images from someone who got a shipment of them for their store, and they kind of pop them open, or like the warehouse or stuff like that. So it is a bit of a, you know, early look, but I'm just very excited for it. And in comics this week, we think look incredible. First up is, of course, Skybound and Comics and Image Comics Transformers number 23 with this awesome photo of Ultra Magnus kind of holding up an Autobot flag, trying to show that the Autobots are getting back on their feet slowly and steadily to kind of build up their forces and try to, you know, strike back on the Decepticons or just defend humanity. I'm very excited for this. I've been having a wonderful time reading these comics as a Transformers fan, and it's an enjoyable series to read, even if you're not a Transformers fan. Next up, we have the third set of Power Rangers X TMNT from Boom Studios and IDW. This is a crossover, the third time I believe we've had, with the Power Rangers and the Turtles going on awesome adventures, so I'm very excited for that, to see what they're going to keep going with or what they're going to start with and stuff like that. And then third and finally, one of those Bring On the Bad Guys. It is Bring On the Bad Guys Red Skull. This is one I'm very excited about as a Captain America fan. These are all, of course, one-shots like the other ones we talked about, where it talks about the villain, like the greatest moments and stuff like that, of them getting beaten up by their hero, or, you know, incidents and stuff like that. And then, you know, a little bit of a story. So really exciting comics this week. Like always, stop at your local comic shop, see what's new, pick up what you might want, and check out what's in your saver, and have a wonderful time. And in our creative corner this week, we have a look at an amazing toy photographer who takes the blast effects and, you know, model effects that you can get and makes amazing photo shoots of action figures. And it is that of Zode.340 on Instagram. Link to their Instagram is in the description down below. And they have amazing toy photography here. I've seen it every now and then, and I finally wanted to cover them because I was like, nah, I gotta cover this stuff. It's amazing looking. It is a lot of Transformers, which, you know, is my bread and butter, but there is some Star Wars and some other stuff. Like this really cool Darth Sidious fighting Darth Maul and his adopted Darthamir brother. I forget his name off the top of my head. And just really awesome use of those Bandai model effects or SH Figure Arts effects. The incredible Megatron one where he transforms and goes into Starscream's hand. You can see a little bit of it on the profile picture, but definitely go to their site and click on that and look at it, give it a like, because it is incredible, the effects and everything like that. They have all kinds of amazing stuff. Even some of the Transformers collabs, like the Mandalorian one. And then there's just some really cool Star Wars stuff, like the Rogue One team going after the plans, which looks really cool. It gives me very anime vibes with the anime intro kind of feel with all these photos, and I just love it a lot. I really like the, is it what, a Silverbolt? Or, yeah, I think it's Silverbolt defending Arachnia from Beast Wars. I thought that was really cool. I feel like I'm not saying the name right. Is it Silverbolt? I know that's the Transformer from G1. I think that's also the name of the character, who's the Wolfbird. And then just some really awesome photos of different stuff, from like G1 characters to Skybound, you know, custom characters and stuff like that. Just really awesome work. Definitely makes me want to go out to my local hobby shop and buy all those effects and try to find them online and stuff like that, because they're really cool looking with Transformers, and I never even thought of that. I always just imagined Gundam and other anime figures, but this is really cool. So like I said, if you want to give them a follow, see what they have, share it with your other friends who might get inspiration from it, or you want the inspiration from it, link is in the description down below. Go give them a follow, go share them, go give them the likes, give them the little hearts and all that stuff, and just support them because they have amazing work. And that about wraps it up. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. If you're feeling generous, share it. And thank you so much for watching. Till next time, bye.